tunnel, through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. Throwing to start here is Tua. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
The start less than ideal as they already face a second and long. They'll run. This is Gus Edwards. And he'll be taken down at the 18. He was able to pick up 6 yards there, so that leaves him with a 3rd and 13.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Looking to pass. Tua. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line.
That time at a first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the save. C.J. Mosley, the linebacker, making sure his presence is felt.
They'll make that a second sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down. Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Open man there, it's Collins, complete.
And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 31-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 31. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And he hits Drake. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Edwards now on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Here we go.
Again, it's Edwards. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Gus Edwards with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. He hasn't missed an extra point all season, and he won't miss this one either. And it's 7-0. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Taken at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll start with the option. And he is going to lose yardage here. A nice stick and stop for a loss there from Jalen Phillips.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. It's Wilson. Open man is Denzel Mims. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the 1st.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that 1st down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot in the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
This defense for the Dolphins, they were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
They go play action now. Wilson on the move to his left. Looking for Mims, but this is intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to take over.
Entering settings screen, you have 20 options. Menu narration option is set to off is selected.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. To his throw here, taken in by Gesicki. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
On first down, Tagovailoa. And that nearly trouble, but it's incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it, and it'll be second down.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up third. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a third down and long coming up. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. He's got it to Collins, complete. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 32-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was third and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So in Jet territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 32-yard line. Now Tua. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Drake. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up a first down.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's second and 9.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there, but how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Here's second and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now the first carry for Chase Edmonds, and he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
This offense so far on third down, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is third and 8. Going for Boykin, but it is intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And the Jets will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
And still in the first half here, a long way to go. From just shy of midfield, Wilson, he's going to air one out. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
On second down, it's Drake.
And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Here's Berrios.
Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with it, but whatever it's going to take to get the message.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 14-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
Braxton Berrios now from his end zone.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. All again on 2nd down. And he'll get about 3 up past the 25.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
And intercepted. Wilson's 3rd of the game.
Picked up by Xavier Howard. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
Well, that's what you get, apparently, when you try to take on a Pro Bowl cornerback. I mean, what a play there to make the interception and also bring it back for 6.
And he is so good that we've seen teams absolutely stay away from throwing the ball at him. Here, he's just reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way, makes a great play on the football, and turns it into 6.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 21-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Dancing to his left. And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. Deep ball for Goodwin. And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
Absolutely no disguise on that one. They just went for it. Put him out there and said, go deep. Let's try and hit him. Unfortunately, to no avail.
Again, Wilson. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
From the 39, Wilson. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. One more time with Hall. And this time they were ready for him, as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal, with the last 2 plays having gone backwards. They go play action with Wilson. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Elijah Moore, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jets get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the 2nd quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Tua going to throw. That's complete. It's Collins. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This from 42 yards out. The kick by Sanders is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The Jets take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit, as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This is away, and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. The drive starts with a carry by Edwards. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
But that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They'll hand it to Drake here on the option. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he'll go underneath here to Drake. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Jets will take over.
At their own 26-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Open man is Uzomah. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Play action. It's Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line.
Well, let's face it, Brandon. They're down here in the 2nd half. Want to try and make something happen. And if you're the guy with the ball in your hands, you're going to try even harder. Because I think all he was trying to do was to get outside the pocket and see if he can find a big play downfield.
After the turnover, it's Tua. And this is caught. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
But they didn't ease into that drive right out of the turnover. They go for the big shot downfield and hit it. A lot of teams have that opportunity, but not every coach is going to greenlight that type of a play call. I love their aggressiveness.
And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Gus Edwards with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead is now 24.
31, Jets 7.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. This fielded right at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well. And that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves. But we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Hall again on 2nd down. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Wilson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to look deep for more. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at about the 14.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return.
And it'll be Dolphin football.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Jordan Whitehead. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
2 and now on first down. Finding his big receiver, Patrick, over the middle. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
A gain of 12. First down, Dolphins.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Tua. Looking middle, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
This one left side caught by Collins. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy.
And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa scoring on the sneak from a yard out. And the Dolphins are well on their way to a 5-0 start as they extend their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Berrios now from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
Jets take over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 4 of 7. This will be 3rd and 6. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Going for it all. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Nico Collins, 29 yards. And the Dolphins add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They'll start on the ground. Hall. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Hall again on 2nd down. And once again, the Dolphin defense holds firm as they'll stop him behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Taking it about the 36. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And looky there, Charles, just acquired, already making an impact on the defensive side of the football.
Maybe not a superstar, but he does a few things well, and I think they'll emphasize that in his new role with this team.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw taken in here by Patrick. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like, that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles. But that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach. And maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up. But he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And again, it's Tagovailoa. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by DJ Reed. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line.
And that's now a half dozen interceptions for him over the last 2 games. Because CD, remember, he threw 3 in the last ball game and now 3 more here.
And the way that you present it, partner, I'm not sure what sounds worse, right? Half a dozen over the last 2 games, or 3 the last game, 3 this game. Either way, it's way too many. And that's something they'll have to work on, hoping to get through the rest of this game without having to address it again.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Zuerlein connects on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
Taken at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And this one has gone pretty well to form. They've come in, had little problem thus far, and now they'll try to polish things off in the fourth. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Sauce Gardner picks it off, and his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection, and now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the foot...
And it'll be intercepted.
Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line.
Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
That one looks like he'll throw here.
And that'll be checked down to Drake.
And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route. And he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
First down, Dolphins.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Miami, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they will head home next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Jets, things aren't looking good. It'll be an 0-5 start. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers.